beautiful country. But politicians will not change this narrative to favor them, and that is why we are here. Let me welcome Pareno Solonka. Take the mic.
Oh, hi everyone.
Hi.
Yeah, so first of all, Morara, thank you for the work that you've done. It's not easy. Personally, I'll admit that I don't have the courage to do what you do, and keep up. And thank you for what you're doing. Now, on today's topic, Ruto's tribal game plan, we really need to avoid a situation whereby Ruto turns or politicians turn the 2027 elections or the conversation you're having currently into tribal. The fact of the matter is, for long, people have been talking about it's been about issues, about accountability, about corruption, about inefficiency, about impunity. Then all of a sudden, the conversation is shifting into being tribal. I know I'm seeing several people, like I'm seeing some few tweets here telling Morara to go to Kisii, go lecture people in Kisii while he's speaking the truth. Surely, how will we tutatoka as a block tukiendelea if we go on with that mentality? We really need to stop, because trust you me, Ruto wants this election to be tribal. He wants the conversation to shift from being about issues to being tribal, because that is his path to success, and that is how he will win that thing in the morning. Because I mean, even if Mount Kenya unites to the last person and they added Ukambani votes to the last person, they have no path to victory if it goes tribal. Ruto already has Raila, so that means he'll have Western, he'll have Nyanza, he'll have Rift Valley. He's actually waiting for that time or that opportunity where the moment it shifts or the moment it becomes tribal, utaona amerudi sasa kwa ile prado yake, amerudi kwa sunroof. He will incite Kenyans against Central Kenya. And once that incitement imeingia, asubuhi 2027, he'll take that election. Because people, I've been wondering, there's a problem somewhere, because if you see the way the government is moving, it's like they don't care. People are complaining, people are making noise, there are court cases every day. But the way these guys are moving, it's like they have an escad up their sleeve. They're not afraid. Like there's something they know that we don't know. It's like they know 2020, hata mpige kelele aje, 2027 will still be in government. I was like, why? And then it started making sense a few days ago, yesterday and today, because they are tribal cocoons. And we need to avoid that thing. Because the moment we shift the conversation from issues that are affecting Kenyans, that is how we will have lost this fight. We need to avoid continue pushing the way we pushed. As Morara said in his videos today, the Gen Zs did not die for the conversation to shift and for the conversation to become tribal. People were not short for the conversation to move back to tribal lines. We need to avoid, and everyone who is in this space, go talk to your parents, go talk to your relative, talk to your friend. Whenever you're in a matatu, anywhere you are, inject them. Let the conversation remain issue-based. If it goes tribal with the way Ruto is aligning himself, akona northeastern, akona coast, akona Nyanza, akona nini, if we shift the conversation, the guy will take this thing 2027 asubuhi na mapema. It will even be easier to rig that election, because that election will be very close. An election that is issue-based to rig. If people from Central want to reject Ruto, let them reject Ruto as Kenyans, not as people from Mount Kenya. Let them reject Ruto as Kenyans. That is the only way we will win. We should avoid tribal politics, and that's Ruto's tribal game plan. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Pareno. Indeed, what we don't need to inherit from our parents is the politics of tribalism. Anybody can be given chance. There are people who come from minority tribes and they can lead. There are people who can come from majority tribes and they can lead. all we just need to do as a country is identify who the leader is, as long as they are branded Kenyan, and then we follow. And if you see on the politics of the day how everything is aligning itself, it's just properly to appease regions. I have appeased this region because I'll give you a PS, or I'll appease this region because the PS is not appointed on meritocracy. Anachukua mtu mwenye Ruto amechukua watu wenye hawajui kazi, anawaweka pale just because they are affiliated to a tribe, with his mind and eyes looking at 2027, and that is killing the systems of our country. And you know why we fight for this? We fight for this for posterity. We fight for this for in the view of foresight. We don't only live in this country. We want to make this country better for 100 years to come, so that when a child, our great grandchildren will live in this land 100 years to come, may they enjoy the fight towards the freedom that they will be enjoying 100 years. This is akin to the liberation, fighting against the slavery which is being imposed to us and imposed to our back by the government, by trying to select or align themselves in a tribal way. Mwangi, Maina Mwangi, you can take the microphone.
Can I, because my battery is running low, I'm now.
Oh yeah, Abu, okay, go yeah. Abu, and then Mwangi will.
Okay. Okay, thank you. First of all, I'm so excited to have Morara Kebaso on the panel. That's a very exciting thing for me personally. I've seen him growing in his this political career, and he's been an inspiration to all of us. And we wish you well, inshallah. May Allah give you ability to succeed on whatever you're up to. And if you are a blessing to us, may you succeed. And I wish you all the best. Second thing, respecting the topic, it's important that we maintain harmony within the country. First of all, family unity. We've seen what's happened in the US. The Trump has appealed to communities, what they usually needs, and he has succeeded. I don't underestimate your ability where you have reached. Don't ever underestimate. And as long and the message is getting around, and people are recognizing you to have that ability. Please, I want you to continue with whatever you're doing. Harmony of the community is very important. Family values are very important. We don't want that. What we are facing now in the West, we don't want it to come back to our home countries, where we have our own cultural, we have our own strong belief in God, and we have our own strong belief in family values. These things I want you to put in your banner from now on and whenever you continue. Second thing which I had a glitch about you was that when you chose your team, I could haven't seen names which we recognize or individuals that we recognize. It has in the beginning, but I wish you well too, and I want to see you more participating with other emerging leaders in the field, and that's the only point I want. And God bless and thank you for panel. I hope to see you as our president. I pray, inshallah, to see that happening. And I wish you all the best, guys. Keep the fight going. This is not the end. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. Let's see where it takes us to. Inshallah. Take care. Thank you for the opportunity you've given me in the platform. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Abu. Thank you for the kind words towards our brother Morara, and even a word extending encouragement to him. It's a word that goes very far. This is utter sacrifice, utter commitment. It's very invaluable. It goes beyond money. It's absolute self-sacrifice, and we really appreciate for the kind words that I can see even on the chat that you're extending towards him, and we really appreciate. It's very important. It's more important than any other thing by just showing that showing gratitude and keeping pushing him to go further. Mwangi, what do you have to say about Ruto's tribal game plan?
Thank you. I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, you are. Go on.
Yes, I want to believe and first begin by commending the organizers of this platform today. Tribalism is one of the very thorny and serious issues affecting us as a country. However, I think it should always dawn to anyone who is young, who is keenly following on what is happening in this movement. It doesn't matter which caucus you are, but anyone who had the feeling that this country needs to change from 25th of June, there is something that happened. And some of us were never known. Majority of the people in this platform were never known. We never had an opportunity to meet, interact, and talk. But one thing brought Kenyans together, young to begin with. They appeared like they were sick or drunk or insane, but there was something. That things in this country have not been going on well. And tribalism did not begin today. Neither should we expect that to end today. And I am not saying, and I'm not advocating for tribalism. And I'm not giving a discouragement. But there are always two sides of the story. In the agenda that is being propagated for tribalism, I come from Mount Kenya. I work and live there. I am in charge of several counties. And of course, I have been going around a lot with a lot of interest. And also there is a lot of things I do on the ground in terms of mobilization and all that. And one of the things that maybe is going to surprise many, in the next generation or lot of leadership in Mount Kenya, I will talk like that because that is where I live and work. So I probably understand a lot of things that are happening there. A lot of leaders that will be elected in Mount Kenya, one, somebody said we vote as a result of emotions. A lot of leaders who will be elected are going to be leaders to punish the UDA Kenya Kwanza regime that we elected. And whatever Ruto does with his tribal card, the fate of the elected members of parliament in Mount Kenya, the 60 of them, it is sealed. You have time to debate about that, but it is sealed. And if we want to have an opportunity, if there is a region that has an opportunity to really rise above tribalism, is Mount Kenya. And it is actually the place where you will find this time round a lot of leaders elected who necessarily don't come from some of the tribes, or who don't even come from their areas from the areas they are born. And that is informed by a view and a feedback, because I deal with groups in several counties. So majority of the people we are tired. And so even whatever happened in Embu, it was not an appreciation for Uhuru and Gachagua. I think we need to interpret things correctly. It was an affirmation to Ruto that Mount Kenya has parted way with him. They would not have celebrated Ruto. I have seen a lot of people commenting that today Ruto is being celebrated in Nairobi, and they are wondering, kwani nyinyi hamuoni? That would not happen and will not happen anytime soon in Mount Kenya, because people have parted ways with him. And so for this movement of change that began in 2020, on June 25th, what are we supposed to be doing? I think we are supposed to see the opportunity we have. That in this space of change and transition to new leadership, Morara, I beseech you, have men of dignity positioned in Mount Kenya if we want to fight tribalism. People who don't believe in tribalism, because the current lot of leadership, from the president coming down to the members of parliament in Mount Kenya, they are very tribal, yes. And a time has come for them to be punished by their electorate. Hawatafukuzwa na watu wa Nyanza, watafukuzwa na watu wa Mount Kenya. So in Mount Kenya, and that's why I've said I will talk about where I belong. On my part as David, I am positioning myself. I am also talking to some other young people of integrity I know, and we are trying to align ourselves into the leadership and take opportunity and take advantage of the crisis, because it is in crisis that leaders are born. So let us not complain a lot with the crisis that is there. Let us see the opportunity. And because people will be chased away in Mount Kenya, let us have people we know of dignity vying for positions. Can you imagine a situation where 30 of the probably people who are going to be elected in Mount Kenya are people who don't care about about tribe? Probably like me. Me, I don't care whatever happens. What I know is that a revolution started and this country was born afresh on 25th of June. That's a conviction I have in my heart. And therefore, anything else I am doing, I don't care. And so even as I see people clapping for Gachagua and Uhuru, to me, I am not seeing Uhuru and Gachagua being clapped for. I am seeing an opportunity for me as a young leader to arise, align myself, and be elected in this wave where there is no going to be that kind of sycophancy in Mount Kenya. People will elect people of issues or out of issues and agenda. So let us look ahead. As Ruto is playing the card, let us hope that in Mount Kenya, the wave of chasing the current lot of rotten leaders continues the way it is, so that it creates an opportunity for young and men of integrity in leadership. Now, my question and my concern is, are other people in the areas that I am not going to vote ready for that change? And so let us concentrate in our diverse areas and see the opportunity that arises. I am wondering whether in Kapsaret there is going to be a young man who is not tribal, ready to vie, who is understanding the dynamics of how the ground works in Kapsaret and replace Sudi in this wave of change. So for me, that is what matters. The other diversity I have about tribalism, in as much as Ruto is propagating it, I will speak very harsh words and say the behavior that the president is having today is a behavior of a dying man. If you ever visit a hospital, a patient who is about to die, when you serve them food and porridge, they eat so well that day. But the following day or after 2 days, they die. Their level of appetite at a certain time. And whenever you see somebody with the kind of appetite for bad things the way the president is having, it takes a sober person to see that the president is actually portraying a fallen at a very high speed regime. And I don't know whether he knows. And even if he doesn't know, I'm not his advisor. But he is on a falling trajectory. And he does not have a way to rise back. The kind of greed and appetite and crisis he's causing, all that in every area, and behaving deaf. That is what a person who is about to die behaves. And so he may win the election, I don't know. But what are we doing so that to stop this kind of tribalism? By making sure we fill our parliament with men and women of integrity. Now, on my walk in the ground, I have realized something. That very many elderly people are telling us, nyinyi Gen Z mlituonyesha mko na uwezo wa kuongoza. Ile mwelekeo mtatupea, sisi tutawafuata. But instead of us building on what the Kenyan people, we have shown them we are capable of doing, I find ourselves diverting to other things. I wish we could retain the focus and show we have taken up. Let Ruto take up tribalism, let us take up another thing. We should not play his cards. Consistency is the game. Let us be consistent, like what Jesus was doing. For those who are probably Christian can relate to that. Jesus' way was, I don't need the elderly who are known and the Pharisees and the Sadducees and all those leaders. I am going to work with the 12. And they are the ones who carried the baton. And they made a lot of progress and they converted very many people. And so for us, let us not be hopeless. Issues of tribe can come to an end if we have people standing and are able to qualify for election positions and are elected people of goodwill. Because tribalism will not end until there is goodwill to deal with it. And Ruto doesn't have the goodwill. Neither are the elected members of parliament or whoever. The kind of leadership we have, maybe Omtata alone. That's my opinion. So we need to have people of goodwill. And if we elect them, it is easier to fight corruption in the long run. But in the short run, we see the opportunity that stands on our way so that we are able to have those positions of influence and influence this country, the direction we know. Shockingly, let me tell us, I am a good reader of the Bible. There are people who are elected kings when they were 8 years old and they led the nation into the way of the Lord. Achana na Ruto na hivyo anajifanya. An 8-year-old Josiah led the kingdom of Israel into the right way. So it doesn't mean that age is what gives people experience to lead. You can have the age and not have the leadership. So let us see what is lacking in this country. Let us not see what is the problem and capitalize on what is lacking. However, we would also need to position ourselves in a strategic way so that in this crisis, the leaders who will stand, they are people who can be able to command influence in a certain way. And we will fight both tribalism and even corruption. Finally, I feel I have talked too much. The other thing that propagates tribalism in this country is the political parties. I am yet to see a young man who is very strong in this wave and tell us, I want to vie in Luo Nyanza with a party that is not ODM and work out on the ground modalities and bring us a win for a member of parliament position or an MCA position without an ODM ticket. ODM philosophy and the way they do their things, or even the way we have seen UDA and other political parties, they worship the party, the political party leaders. And in as much as there are political laws, our political parties propagate tribes. And so as we plan to end tribalism, in 2027 as people vie, can we have young people vying with other political parties other than the dominant political parties? So that we define ourselves tribeless by even having, like myself, maybe I declare here because probably nobody knows, I will be a member of parliament in one of the constituencies in Meru, and I am a Kikuyu. And it is because there is something I am doing on the ground, and I can tell you, the party I'm intending to use is not local in Meru, and I cannot, because I don't want to be called by other leaders and I'm told, you know, tutafanya hivi, kijana. I don't want. So, okay, I come to the close by saying, let us fight and fashion our way without concentrating on what others are doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mwangi. That is for the long comments. Let me